Asha had no idea that tonight, a single phone call would change everything. She stood on the hotel balcony, the city lights twinkling far below, but they did nothing to ease the storm in her mind. Her fingers traced the railing as her thoughts swirled, decisions, regrets, uncertainties. She felt completely alone. The night air was sharp and biting, yet it couldn't shake the unease settling deep in her chest. Something was coming. She could feel it, though she didn't know what. Suddenly, her phone rang. The sharp vibration jolted her from her thoughts. With a racing heartbeat, she picked it up. The voice on the other end was tense, urgent, almost dangerous. "Asha, we have a problem," Ravi said, and the weight of those words hit her like a physical blow. Her mind spun. What had gone wrong? Who was involved? And how fast was the danger approaching? The balcony seemed smaller now, the night darker, as if warning her of what was to come. Every instinct screamed that she couldn't stay here alone. Her chest tightened, palms clammy, and yet she forced herself to stand still, listening. The audience immediately senses a threat looming over Asha, feeling her suspense, her fear, and her vulnerability. They are drawn in, compelled to find out what happens next. One call, one warning, and everything she thought she knew about safety, control, and the night ahead was gone. Ravi paced the length of his office, phone pressed tightly to his ear as he listened intently to his investigator. Every word from the other side felt like a hammer striking his chest. "Olivia is already moving," the investigator said, voice low and urgent. "She's gathering information on Asha, digging into her past, and reaching out to contacts. She plans to expose something big." Ravi's jaw clenched. His mind raced, running through every possible scenario. How much had Olivia discovered? How fast was she acting? The thought of the antagonist using Asha's life as a chess piece ignited a burning need to act before it was too late. Meanwhile, Olivia smiled in her own world, confident and calculating, unaware that Ravi was already 2 steps ahead. Every call she made, every document she uncovered, was fueling the tension that tightened like a vice around Asha's life. The audience feels the anxiety and urgency building. Every second counts. Will Olivia succeed in her schemes? Can Ravi protect Asha before it's too late? The stakes rise and the suspense grips tightly. Viewers are drawn deeper, unable to look away, craving the next move, the next revelation, an inevitable clash between protection and betrayal. The next morning, sunlight spilled softly across the hotel balcony where Asha sat, knees pulled close, staring at the horizon with a quiet intensity. Her mind replayed Olivia's moves, the threats, and the growing danger. But despite it all, there was a strength in her posture, a resilience Ravi had always admired. Ravi approached slowly, his footsteps careful, not wanting to startle her. "Asha," he began softly, crouching beside her. She didn't look at him immediately, lost in her thoughts. "I know what you're facing," he continued, voice steady yet warm. "But you're not alone in this." Asha blinked, a small tremor passing through her as she allowed herself a sigh she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Ravi gently placed a hand on her shoulder, his presence grounding her, calming the storm inside. For a fleeting moment, the world outside, the threats, the schemes, they all paused. Their eyes met, holding unspoken words, and the air hummed with a quiet tension, part reassurance, part something deeper, subtle, unacknowledged, but undeniable. In that instant, the audience senses that their bond isn't just strategic, it's emotional, protective, and maybe even romantic. Danger looms, but so does connection, pulling viewers further into their story. Later that morning, Ravi sat in his office, reports spread across the polished desk, his jaw tight and hands clenched. Each document, each detail confirmed his worst fears. Olivia's plan wasn't just a small scheme. It was meticulously calculated, designed to dismantle everything Asha had fought to rebuild. He ran a hand through his hair, frustration and anger boiling beneath the surface. Every email trail, every financial irregularity, every whispered tip pointed to one thing. Olivia was going all in. Nothing about this was accidental. And the deeper he dug, the clearer it became that time was slipping away. Ravi's mind raced. He couldn't afford mistakes. Not now. He picked up the phone, calling his investigator. "I need everything you have on Olivia. Every move, every contact, every lead." She's planning something big, and we need to be ready." His voice was sharp, commanding, leaving no room for error. The audience feels the tension escalate. The stakes are higher than ever. Olivia's reach is long, her ambition ruthless, and the threat to Asha imminent. Every second counts, and viewers are left on edge, anticipating Ravi's next move, wondering how he will protect Asha and outmaneuver Olivia before it's too late. Ravi arrived at the hotel where Asha was staying, his expression tense but controlled. He didn't wait for pleasantries, stepping straight into the room with urgency in his voice. "Asha, Olivia's making a move," he said, handing over a folder filled with updates. Her eyes narrowed as she skimmed the contents, understanding immediately the depth of the threat. They sat together at the table, reports, laptops, and notes spread before them. Every move Olivia had made, every contact she had reached out to, it was all laid bare. Asha's mind raced, but she kept her composure. "We can't let her get away with this," she said firmly. Ravi nodded, determination in his eyes. "We won't, but we have to be smarter, faster. She won't expect us to turn the tables so quickly." Together, they plotted each step carefully, anticipating Olivia's moves, identifying weaknesses, and creating contingencies. It was more than just a fence. It was a calculated offense designed to protect Asha and strike where Olivia thought she was untouchable. The audience feels the tension and cleverness building. Every decision, every whispered plan heightens curiosity. How will Ravi and Asha outsmart Olivia? Viewers are hooked, eager to see the unfolding battle of wits, knowing that the stakes couldn't be higher. The next morning, the world seemed to turn against Asha. Every phone notification, every social media alert, carried the same devastating news. Olivia had gone public. Headlines screamed, "Deo family scandal exposed. Asha Deo. From luxury to ruin." Newspapers, online portals, even gossip blogs twisted her story, painting her as opportunistic and deceitful. Asha stared at the screens, her pulse quickening, but her face remained calm. She had endured shocks before, yet the sting of public humiliation was different. Ravi stood beside her, reading every article, fury evident in his clenched fists. "She's trying to destroy you, but she underestimates what you're capable of," he said firmly, placing a steadying hand on her shoulder. Asha let out a quiet, controlled breath. She knew that panic would give Olivia victory. This was a test of resilience, a battle fought not with fists, but with intelligence and composure. The audience feels the injustice. Olivia's cruelty is clear, Asha's strength undeniable. Suspense builds as viewers wonder. How will Asha and Ravi respond? Will this scandal crush her, or will it become the spark that fuels their counterattack? Each headline, each accusation adds tension, keeping viewers glued, rooting for Asha to rise above the storm. Script 7. The night at Harrington Club event. The room buzzed with elegant chatter. Champagne glasses clinking, unaware that the tides were about to turn. Asha entered alone, exuding quiet confidence, her black dress sharp against the warm golden lights. Ravi was already there, blending with the crowd, his eyes scanning, calculating every detail. Then Olivia appeared, smile venomous, eyes gleaming with the satisfaction of someone who believed she had already won. "Glad you accepted my invitation," she sneered, confident her media scandal would terrify Asha. But the tension in the room shifted the moment Ravi stepped forward, handing Olivia an envelope with deliberate calm. Olivia's hands trembled as she opened it, revealing undeniable proof of her manipulations. Financial records, recordings, and signed documents exposing every lie she had spun against Asha. The crowd gasped, whispers spreading like wildfire. Olivia's carefully constructed image began to crumble before their eyes. Asha stood by Ravi, calm yet triumphant. The audience feels a dramatic tension, knowing the villain's downfall is unfolding. Suspense peaks. Will Olivia recover? But each second confirms her defeat, and viewers can't look away, captivated by Asha and Ravi's clever, decisive counterattack, setting the stage for victory and emotional release. Script 8. The atmosphere at the Harrington Club had shifted completely. Olivia, once confident and untouchable, now felt the room's cold stare boring into her. The whispers had grown louder as guests noticed the envelope in her trembling hands. Suddenly, Two police officers entered the grand ballroom, flanked by a stern-looking prosecutor. "Miss Olivia Harrington," one officer announced, voice echoing, "you are under arrest for financial fraud, embezzlement, and market manipulation." The room froze. Olivia's face paled. Her carefully maintained composure cracked instantly. This can't be happening," she stammered, eyes darting from the officers to the horrified crowd. Cameras flashed, recording every detail of her humiliation for the world to see. Guests who once admired her now whispered about her downfall, and the realization hit her like a tidal wave. Her empire of power, influence, and wealth was crumbling before her eyes. Ravi stood beside Asha, calm yet victorious, watching the villain who had threatened everything they built finally meet justice. Asha exhaled deeply, relief flooding her. The audience feels the full weight of suspense released, the tension, the danger, the fear, all resolved. Olivia's public disgrace delivers a powerful payoff, leaving viewers satisfied, emotionally invested, and cheering for the triumph of cleverness, courage, and righteousness. Script 9. With Olivia's schemes finally exposed and her empire crumbling, a rare calm settled over Asha and Ravi. The chaos of the past weeks had left them exhausted, but now they could finally breathe, together. Ravi found Asha sitting in the sunlit hotel lounge, her posture relaxed for the first time in weeks. He approached quietly, hesitant to break the fragile peace. "You handled everything so brilliantly," he said softly, sliding into the seat beside her. Asha glanced at him, a small smile tugging at her lips. "We did it, Ravi. Together." The words weren't just about Olivia. They were about every threat, every challenge, every moment of fear they had faced side by side. Their eyes met, lingering longer than necessary, and a subtle warmth passed between them. Ravi reached out, brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. It was intimate, tender, but charged with unspoken desire. Asha felt it too, the pull that had been growing since their first crisis, now undeniable. For a moment, the world outside didn't exist. No scandals, no threats, no schemes, just the quiet strength of two people who had fought together and survived. The audience feels the emotional payoff, invested not only in Asha's victory, but in the slow, simmering romance that promises more passion, trust, and connection in the chapters to come. Script 10. The weeks after Olivia's fall were filled with determination and focus. Asha threw herself into rebuilding her company, determined to reclaim her place in the business world. Every day, she reviewed reports, strategized with her team, and made bold decisions that reflected her vision. Her confidence was growing, but it wasn't a solo journey. Ravi remained by her side, silently supporting, never imposing, yet always present. "Your instincts were right on that merger," he said one afternoon, watching her navigate a tense negotiation with grace. Asha looked at him, a faint smile forming. "It's easier when I know someone has my back," she replied, her eyes softening. There was teamwork in every glance, every shared strategy, and the subtle energy between them strengthened. The office hummed with new life. Employees were inspired by Asha's resilience and Ravi's calm guidance. Investors began noticing the company's rapid recovery, drawn to the strength and unity they projected. Each milestone, each small victory, was a testament not only to Asha's brilliance, but also to the partnership she and Ravi had built. The audience feels the power of growth, empowerment, and success. Suspense from earlier threats fades into a sense of triumph, while subtle romantic tension continues to weave in, keeping viewers emotionally invested in both Asha's professional and personal journey. The grand ballroom glittered under crystal chandeliers as Asha moved gracefully through the crowd, exchanging smiles and firm handshakes with investors. Her navy blue dress was elegant, understated, yet commanding attention effortlessly. Among the crowd, Liam Bissett, a charismatic and suave French investor, approached with a confident smile. "Miss Deo, may I have this dance?" he asked, offering his hand with subtle charm. Asha hesitated, sensing no threat in the gesture, but curious to see his intentions. She placed her hand in his, allowing herself to be led to the dance floor. They moved in sync, the music swirling around them, their conversation light yet engaging. Across the room, Ravi observed, his jaw tightening, eyes darkening with barely concealed jealousy. Every turn Liam made around Asha's waist, every polite whisper, ignited a storm inside him, The romantic tension crackled in the air, blending with the professional setting. Ravi's mind raced. Should he intervene or trust Asha's independence? Asha felt the gaze before she saw him, and when their eyes met across the crowd, a subtle yet explosive tension passed between them. The audience feels the conflict. Will Ravi confront Liam or keep his emotions restrained? The stakes are not just business, but deeply personal, and every moment keeps viewers on edge. Heartbeats sync with the unfolding drama. Script 12. The cool night air hit Asha as she stepped out of the ballroom, her heart still racing from the tension inside. Ravi followed quietly, his eyes locked on her, every step deliberate, fueled by desire and frustration. When they reached the parking lot, the city lights glinted off the cars, casting long shadows around them. "Asha, wait," Ravi called, his voice low but firm. She spun around, her chest heaving, trying to steady herself. "What more do you want, Ravi?" she demanded, her tone equal parts exasperation and curiosity. He took a step closer, closing the distance between them. "I can't stand seeing you with him," he admitted, his voice trembling with suppressed emotion. Before she could reply, he pulled her into him, capturing her lips in a desperate, passionate kiss. For a heartbeat, she froze, feeling the intensity, the raw emotion, and the undeniable desire that had been simmering between them for months. But reality hit. She pulled back, her eyes wide, breathless. "You can't do that, Ravi," she whispered, torn between longing and reason. Ravi's eyes darkened with need and regret. "I know," he said softly, his hands lingering near her shoulders. The tension remained unresolved, leaving the audience hanging, hearts racing, desperate to see what happens next. 13. The next morning, Asha arrived at Ravi's penthouse, expecting the usual cheerful greeting. But the moment she stepped inside, unease gripped her. Ravi lay sprawled on the couch, wrapped in a thin blanket, his face pale and flushed. His breathing was shallow, and beads of sweat dotted his forehead. "Oh my God, Ravi, you're burning up!" she exclaimed, rushing to his side. She gently pressed her hand against his forehead, worry etched across her features. "It's just the flu," he murmured weakly, attempting a smile that failed to hide his discomfort. Asha ignored his protest. She moved to the kitchen, quickly preparing a damp cloth, hot tea, and a small tray with light breakfast. Kneeling beside him, she placed a cloth on his forehead, brushing his hair back softly. "This will help bring down the fever," she said gently, her heart tightening seeing him so vulnerable. Throughout the day, she stayed by his side, changing the cloth, offering tea, and whispering words of comfort. Ravi's eyes softened each time he looked at her, realizing how much she cared. In that quiet, intimate space, the tension between them shifted. Fear and stress melted into trust and closeness. The audience could feel the unspoken bond deepening, sensing that love was about to be confessed. Script 14. Days later, as the sun began its slow descent over Private Beach, Ravi led Asha along the shoreline, their footsteps leaving soft imprints in the sand. The ocean breeze tugged gently at her hair, but Asha barely noticed, caught between curiosity and anticipation. Stopping on a smooth, sun-warmed rock, Ravi turned to face her, his eyes intense, unwavering. "Asha," he began, his voice low but steady, "there's something I can't hold in anymore." She tilted her head, sensing the gravity in his tone. "I'm in love with you," he confessed, letting the words linger between them. Heavy with meaning, her heart skipped, emotions tumbling forward. Before she could respond, he knelt, producing a small, elegant box from his pocket. Opening it, a diamond ring sparkled in the fading sunlight. "I want to do this the right way," he said, voice thick with emotion. "I want to love you the way you deserve, patiently, fully, with all my heart. Will you marry me?" Tears welled in Asha's eyes, joy and relief mingling. She smiled through them, whispering, "Yes." Ravi slipped the ring onto her finger and pulled her into a passionate embrace. The waves crashed softly behind them, a perfect soundtrack to the beginning of their shared life. The audience felt the romantic climax, utterly captivated and satisfied. Script 15. Months passed, and Asha and Ravi's life blossomed into reality they had both dreamed of. Deo Consulting, under Asha's unwavering vision and Ravi's quiet support, had grown into a powerhouse, respected across industries. She moved through her office with confidence, now unshakable, knowing every challenge she had faced only made her stronger. Ravi, ever by her side, admired her every day, not just as his partner in business, but as the woman he loved endlessly. The morning sunlight streamed through their penthouse, warm and golden. As Asha held an ultrasound print in her hands, excitement and disbelief dancing in her eyes. "Twins," she whispered softly. Ravi laughed, heart swelling with joy, pulling her into a tight embrace. Their love had weathered storms of betrayal, danger, and doubt. Yet here they were, stronger, united, and ready for this new chapter. Evenings were filled with laughter, planning nurseries, and quiet moments where words weren't needed, just the comfort of being together. Their friends and family gathered to celebrate, witnessing the couple who had fought, loved, and persevered. Every setback they had endured, the scandals, the threats, the moment of fear, now seemed like stepping stones to this perfect horizon. As the sun set over the city skyline, Asha rested her head on Ravi's shoulder. Their hearts were full, their journey complete, and the future bright. The story closed with universal truth. Perseverance, love, and justice always triumph. The audience is left inspired, uplifted, and deeply satisfied, carry with them the warmth of the story that truly rewards patience, courage, and devotion.